If you wanna get down on these hairy balls, then why don't you jump right in?
I still like,
it's a crotch party all up ahead.
I still like the "Let Me Smell Your Dick"
So
song.
lick on this big John.
Yeah, I like the.
Dale, stop.
Well, anyway, welcome back to another episode of DVD Extras. I hope you guys are having a fantastic Friday. And yeah, I hope you checked out last week's episode. As you can see, we brought back our guest, Morgan. Morgan, say what's up.
Hey.
I said say what's up. You're
What's
terrible.
up?
Nope, too late now. You ruined
What's
it.
up?
Fired.
What's up?
I wasn't
Those
hired.
lights are two different colors. I just
Yeah,
noticed
that one's...
That one's yellow and that
I
one's
think
white.
because it's plugged in.
They're both plugged in. Yeah, I think I touched that when I tried to plug it in.
Edgar.
Yeah, I think it's supposed to be that color. Hey, thanks, Edgar.
There we
thanks.
go.
Yep, that's
that
better.
one's bright. That one's
Yeah.
real bright now. I'm also staring at him, and that hurts.
Yeah.
Don't need to do that.
But yeah, I think I touched it when I replugged it in.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I was like, it's not turning on. I think I bumped because this little spin dial, not actually any like buttons or anything. So you just spun the dial a little too hard.
Hell yeah.
But yeah, how are you guys doing? Did you enjoy the last episode of the podcast? Morgan, your first podcasting experience ever? You don't even listen to podcasts, so how was being on one?
It was...
Fix my hat.
I thought you took off your ear for a second. No. Like, what just happened?
Just messed up.
But yeah, how was your first like podcasting experience there?
It was a lot. It was fun. I'm glad it was with you too because the conversations are definitely more interesting than the two podcasts that I listen to, which are just murder mystery podcasts.
Yeah, that's boring. Oh, speaking of murder mystery, are you guys following this murder mystery conspiracy theory thing happening?
The Hulu one?
No. So it's like a real life thing happening right now. So it actually just got mistrialed. So, fun little side story. I can't remember the names or whatever because I can never remember anyone's names. But this husband and wife were out doing something, and then they met one of the husband's coworkers / like bosses, I guess. And then they get invited back to the boss's house to go continue to drink.
Nice.
So they go, and then allegedly the wife and the husband get into an argument, and she hits him, like backs into him with her car, and drives away and leaves the husband in the snow outside the boss's house. And allegedly they never made it inside of the house to party, and the wife showed up the next morning and called the 911
And blame the boss.
because they saw this whole thing. Like, she saw her husband, like, it was in Massachusetts because it was snowing outside. So then she saw like the body laying in the snow in January in Massachusetts. That's a lot of snow, right? Yeah. So then the police come, and then like this whole thing. Now she's on trial for running her own husband, right?
Did the guy have security footage?
No, there's nothing there.
Oh.
And then here's a twist, though. It wasn't just some random coworker that he ran into. Her husband was a police officer, and they ran into the chief of police. And they went back to his house, and allegedly the wife is saying that a bunch of people were at the chief's house and beat the shit out of him and threw him in the snow because they were having issues with him at work. But then when the first responders showed up,
wouldn't she pick him up and take it?
because they were fighting, so she left him at the boss's house.
Also kind
Yeah.
of sketchy behavior, ma'am.
Yeah, so it's a whole conspiracy theory that it's a whole police cover-up because, like, there's no, like, body cam footage from the first responders. The coroner's report doesn't match the third-party report that the wife and her lawyer got done. Yeah, dude, it's a whole thing.
Whoa.
And the jury was literally split, like 6-6 down the middle. And they're like, we're not just disagreeing to disagree. We literally have different morals and belief systems, and this is what it's coming to, and we can't agree on anything. So it wasn't a one-person holdout. It was 6-on-6. Like, it was crazy, dude. Crazy. Definitely should look into that. It's It's a wild conspiracy theory.
Right now, dude.
Yeah, it's a wild conspiracy theory.
Killing her Boston police officer boyfriend.
Boston, yeah.
I didn't freaking kill him, okay, guy?
I didn't kill him, all right? He's a huge freaking guy. Yeah, but oh man, this story just got
Wild.
was so
dude.
crazy.
And honestly, the fact that it's in Boston,
yeah.
I mean, we've all seen movies before.
Yeah, we know exactly.
We've all seen some freaking movies about freaking Boston freaking police, okay?
Some freaking Boston movies, you know?
You know what I mean? So,
But yeah, that whole story is absolutely insane.
Shoot, dude, that's bonkers. You know who's gonna love that story? Kimbo.
Yeah?
Yeah, she'll love that.
You're
shit.
welcome. I bet you like that story.
I like it. I like
Yeah.
it. Dude.
I
Honestly,
love.
Also, do you like how they built up the tension and not tell you why it's a conspiracy until the end and they're all police officers?
Kind of pissed me off, but
Good.
that's okay.
Good. That's what it's supposed to. But anyway, yeah. So, good first experience. What other podcast you listen to besides the murder mystery? Just murder mystery?
I love
Nice,
like
dude.
I watch like the YouTube videos and I listen to podcasts basically on how like the modus operandi of different serial killers and how they got away. Like my favorite one to watch is on Ted Bundy.
Why do women love watching that shit?
It's because it's fascinating. Like because if you really think about it, no one caught Ted Bundy, even though multiple people were like, "Hey, he was a brown VW Beetle, and it's this guy named Ted, and this guy I used to work with named Ted. Like he's very suspicious." And they didn't.
What's going on in there?
They basically
That's
didn't.
JD, dude.
They didn't pick
Jeffrey
him up
Dahms.
because of.
That just still reminds me of how funny that is.
But yeah, they didn't pick him up because he was like, oh, he's in a cast and he's well rounded and he went to law school and he has a VW Beetle. Like, who's gonna murder someone with that? Like,
It's like if someone drives a Prius, it's like, they're possible to murder someone. They drive a Prius.
yeah, basically that was, and they didn't have like, it was just stupid.
Well, see, Priest kind of red flag.
Yeah.
I'm like, you're gonna kill me probably,
Yeah, probably.
and
yeah.
I have to pay for gas about it.
You almost made me spit beer.
Fiscally responsible, dude. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And also, no credit card trail. You know what I mean? Like you don't have to fill up your car.
There you go.
Drive to my house.
Because, yeah, just drop.
murder me.
You can drop like, $20 and that's just care. Who doesn't have a 20 in their pocket
Yeah,
right now? You
a
know what I'm saying?
$20 bill. I don't, but whatever.
Oh, well, I mean,
It's what it is.
it was
Go to
more
any ATM,
metaphor, but,
pick
whatever.
it up.
Yeah,
It's
that's
easy.
fine.
But
There's one on the corner over there.
yeah, honestly, I feel like growing up, it was always we knew about like Manson, and like we always knew about them, but we never knew the story of them. So it's kind of interesting, like for me, anyways, growing up. So it's interesting to like see all the stuff on them now. But like Manson was always big, Ted Bundy was always big because he was in Wisconsin, right?
No, that was the Milwaukee murder was.
And that's Jeffrey Dahmer too. He was in Wisconsin.
Yeah.
But
Ted Bundy was everywhere.
yeah, he was kind of everywhere. But it was like I always you like because there's only like that one Jeffrey Dahmer interview.
Yeah.
Like that's it basically, and it's when he's in prison and like he's so nonchalantly saying stuff. So his story always intrigued me. And then now watching the series that they just came out with, it's like, wow, that was fucked.
That was intense.
When your like plan is to drill a hole into someone's head so you can pour acid into it so they're brain dead so you can just walk them around your house like a zombie. That's wild,
It's
dude.
like
That's wild.
See, I did not know that was even the thing.
Well, that's
Also-
so the one kid that got out. Well, the two people got out, obviously, but
Yeah.
the first person that got out, who I believe was a 12 or 14, somewhere in
he was
there.
a 14-year-old
14-year-old boy.
Yeah, boy.
Yeah.
He's Laotian.
Yep, and he bought him fucking Boone's Farm. Like that's what he was buying him was Boone's Farm, and took him home. Said he'd give him money to take pictures of him. Okay, and then he gets a drill out and drills a hole in the side of his head, and pours like an acid in it to eat away at whatever the thing is that he was trying to portion of the brain that would make you brain dead.
Yeah.
And the kid gets out. His brain is functioning enough to leave because Jeffrey Dahmer went to go get more beer or something.
Yeah.
That guy fucking loved beers, dude. He loved sucking down beers. And
Gives beer a bad
and the
name.
kid like got out and his like neighbor saw him and he was like out front. They called the cops And he was like, "Oh no, this is my boyfriend, and we had a domestic dispute. Sorry, we'll take care of it." Whatever the fuck it was, and the cops were just like, "Whatever." That's where the gay stuff thing comes in, because he's like, "What's in there?" And he's like, "No, it's just a bunch of gay stuff." And the cops were like, "Whoa!" And that's like the height of like the AIDS epidemic.
Yeah.
So it was like but also it's just crazy that he could just do that just because he's like white guy.
Yeah, it's
Average white guy.
Yeah, it's because also like if you like heard about the stories, the two women that helped the little Laotian teen were two black women.
Yep. Oh, that too. Yeah, his
And
neighbor.
so,
yeah.
and so they were like, "No, this is wrong. You cannot do this." And basically, the police officers were like, "You can't tell me how to do my job."
Yep. And like the gal who lived there, the like older black gal who was his neighbor, she would call the cops like often. Like there's legit recordings, and like they still have all the police recordings of her calling and being like, "Hey, his apartment smells like dead shit. Like you need to come and check on him." Like she called, I don't even remember how many times, but it was at least a handful of times over the like span of it, and nothing, dude. They never even came out.
Yeah, and then
Crazy.
So the real hero.
Well, and like she had been saying it for years.
Yeah.
And then nothing.
And then I'm pretty sure like some other neighbor who wasn't that same lady was like, "Yeah, there's like an odor issue." And then they're like, "Okay, we'll investigate it." And then they saw the Polaroids of like headless bodies and like people who have been murdered, and they're like, "Oh shit. Like we have to like look into this," and they arrested him right away.
Wow. See, I'm glad I didn't even pay attention to any of this, because that's yuckies.
The last guy that got out is who led them there.
Oh yeah, it was.
They find all of the photos, and they're like, "Oh fuck."
Yeah, it was actually some guy, because he got a handcuff on him or something, and he was like stripped down, and he was like he fought Dahmer, and then was like, "You need to help me," but the guy was also like, I'm pretty sure he was a black guy, so they were like,
he was.
whatever.
He was, and I think he had already drugged him, so he was like drugged up, but I think he started to play into it, where he was like trying to be like sexy, and like do that to like get him vulnerable. And then I think he knocked him over the head with something, and like handcuffed him too. And then he had to run for like it. And in the TV series, it's like he had to run like a mile plus to like get any actual help, because everyone thought he was some crazy cracked out hobo, because he was like half naked too, and like a little bloody and running around, and it was like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
And it's Milwaukee.
Yeah.
Wisconsin, and they were just
there you go.
look at this weirdo.
Yeah, just freak.
None of my business.
Yeah.
But yeah.
There's a bunch of gay stuff over there. Well, I guess, we'll cut it right there, because I guess the DVD Extras turned into our own murder mystery podcast. Hey, look at that. Yeah.
Yeah. Look at us go, dude.
Hey, look at that.
Mystery.
But anyway, thank you guys for hanging out on this Friday. Make sure to check out this week's episode of the Best of 5 podcast, and see us next week. My name is Chris, and this is Jory.
I'm Jory, and this is Chris, and our special guest, Morgan.
This is Morgan. We will see you guys next week. No finger guns.